Detoxify your mind and body. Be the change you want to see. Small steps towards living better. Small steps to where I want to be.
I did.
Okay.
I prefer the seeded ones.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't really like the seedless stuff because honestly, that's not really natural. You know, it's like a plant uses the fruit to reproduce itself. So why are we getting seedless fruits?
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically a convenience thing that they found they could, you know.
So what do? You drink the seeds and all then, or?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't have to if you don't want to, but there's a lot of depending on the seed, you can get a lot. Like there's good fatty acids in there, omega-3s. When I eat nuts and seeds, I like to soak them first. These clearly weren't soaked, but they've been in the fruit juice. But like walnuts or sunflower seeds that we're going to use today, I didn't have a chance to soak them today, but normally I like to soak them because it removes, there's a protective mechanism in them called phytic acid, and it's there to prevent, when we eat them, from our digestive system breaking them down. So the tree or the plant, like when we get the seeds in the fruit, they've got the phytic acid coated on them to help it get through our digestive tract and out into our fertile, bowel movement that we just left if we were out in nature. So the animals eat the fruit or whatever, and then it gets displaced around so the tree, the plant can grow new plants. So it's basically...
You soak it in water and it just takes that away?
Yeah, if you soak it for like 8 hours, soak it overnight, it helps to remove some of that. And if you sprout them, it's even better, because then you start to break down the proteins into the amino acids, and that's so much easier for the body to digest, because our body really can only use the smallest, simplest structures of anything. So when people eat meat, they are happy that they're getting so much protein, but really what they're doing is creating a huge project for the body to break down that protein, because what protein is, it's a structure. Proteins are made out of amino acids. So what I like to tell people to help them kind of understand is, when you eat meat for protein, it's like giving a carpenter a shed and asking him to build you a table. So basically, he would have to break down the shed, demolish it, break it into its nails and boards and screws, and then put it back together into the table that you're wanting him to build. So that's exactly what the body has to do. It's got this protein that was made for another creature's body, and then it has to take that and make a protein that fits our body and use it in that way. So yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so much. When you eat fruits and vegetables, they're already in their amino acid form, so they're not built into proteins. And that's why it is so much easier on the body when we get our protein, or our amino acids is what we should really be looking for, through plants, because that's exactly where the animals get it. That's where, like you said, the cows are out in the field all day eating grass. So where are they getting their protein? How are they building their muscles?
So back to her question earlier then, part of why you don't have to eat so much is because you're not wasting all the energy breaking down all these extra things.
Exactly.
You build them, and your whole digestive tract is just more efficient.
Exactly.
You're pulling out more of the nutrients and not having to do as much work to do it.
Yep. Right on.
It's good, man.
Well, it tastes like you put sugar in there.
Doesn't it? Well, it's made of the sugar that our bodies are designed to run on. Fructose is the perfect fuel for the body, not high fructose corn syrup. So that comes from corn that's highly processed, and pretty much all of it is genetically modified because that's what the government subsidizes, you know, the farmers to make is corn, soy, and that a lot of that is to feed the cattle grains to fatten them up so they can get them to market. And you know, when they have like Earth Day, that's the thing that is kind of funny once you understand what goes into meat. They talk about taking shorter showers, they talk about, you know, watering your lawn less or whatever they tell you to do to save on water. When it takes 660 gallons of water to produce one hamburger patty for meat. When you think about all the water that cattle had to drink, all the water that had to go into the grain that it was to grow the grain, and not to mention the deforestation, the rain that the cattle industry is the highest contributor to deforestation. I mean, it's just crazy how much water goes into cattle production or any of the livestock industry. But they want us to worry about, you know, taking shorter showers. They say that you could leave your shower running for a month straight and you would have saved more water if you didn't eat a hamburger or something like that. So
I found out that 1/4 pound hamburger requires over 660 gallons of water to produce. Here I've been taking these short showers trying to save water, and to find out just eating one hamburger is the equivalent of showering 2 entire months. So much attention is given to lowering our home water use, yet domestic water use is only 5% of what is consumed in the US versus 55% for animal agriculture. That's because it takes upwards of 2,500 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef. I went on the government's Department of Water Resources Save Our Water campaign, where it outlines behavior changes to help conserve our water, like using low-flow shower heads, efficient toilets, water-saving appliances, and fix leaky faucets and sprinkler heads, but nothing about animal agriculture. When I added up all the government's recommendations, I was saving 47 gallons a day, but still, that's not even close to the 660 gallons of water for just one burger.
And when you think about it, think of how much land it takes to raise these cattle, and how many fruit trees that supply fruit forever, compared to the livestock that you can feed so few people with, compared to how many people you could feed with that fruit. You know, they could plant. I can't believe we don't have just fruit trees everywhere planted. I mean, I know we're in Minnesota, but you know, apple trees, pear trees. I think we have pears up here. You know, whatever tree would grow fruit, we would have so much more food. And we're not growing things that are producing the things that we, you know, can just pick right off the tree. It's crazy to me. It's just.
To feed a person on an all plant-based vegan diet for a year requires just 1/6 of an acre of land. To feed that same person on a vegetarian diet that includes eggs and dairy requires 3 times as much land. To feed an average U.S. citizen's high-consumption diet of meat, dairy, and eggs requires 18 times as much land. This is because you can produce 37,000 pounds of vegetables on 1.5 acres, but only 375 pounds of meat on that same plot of land. I also learned the comparison doesn't end with land use. A vegan diet produces half as much CO2 as an American omnivore, uses 1/11th the amount of fossil fuels, 1/13th the amount of water, and 1/18th of the amount of land. After adding this all up, I realized I had the choice every single day to save over 1,100 gallons of water, 45 pounds of grain, 30 square feet of forested land, the equivalent of 20 pounds of CO2, and one animal's life every single day.